Welcome back to another episode of The Journey. Today's episode 8. And today we are talking about the third law of the book, from the book, The Four Agreements. So if you're now tuning in, this is the real Mr. Marcelle, aka your favorite loan officer. And this podcast, this series is all about the journey. It's all about experiencing the best and becoming the best version of yourself. You're never in competition with anyone else but the person you see in the mirror. So we are going to teach you, we, meaning me and you, we're going to learn new tips and new tricks on how to become the best version of ourselves. Whether that's with financing, whether that's with business, whether that's with entrepreneurship, whether that's with health, wealth, relationship, all aspects of life, even God, and creating that better relationship with a higher power. If you don't believe it's called God, a higher power, we are going to work on that better spirituality. Everything that I'm doing, I'm sharing with you. And if you guys have tips and things or reading books that might help, please let me know. As you can see, I'm very tired. But a promise is a promise. I said I'm going to do this for the next 365 days, and we're 8 days in. So let's keep going. Doesn't matter how tired I am. Doesn't matter what's going on with my life. I am going to show up for you guys. So I expect you guys to show up for yourself, because I'm doing this because I believe in you. So hopefully this is touching you. And if this is working for you and you feel like, oh, wow, I'm really learning a lot, put it in the comment section. Let me know. And we're going to keep going. I'm drinking my tea. I love drinking tea before I go to bed. It settles my stomach. Helps me go to bed faster, I think so. Sleepy time tea. I'm not getting any kind of promotion. I'm not getting paid to say that, but it is really good tea. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the first and second agreement. Now, the agreement is from the book called The Four Agreements. And number one was your words have power. And be careful who you say or what you say, because you can curse someone, whether it's someone else or yourself. That was number one. The second agreement was that you don't have to. You get to choose if you agree with what someone is saying. So you don't have to agree with them. You only agree if you accept them. Like, yep, that is true. So the third agreement is, I want to make sure that I don't forget. Yes, the third agreement is don't make assumptions. I feel like we assume things all the time. We assume that people understand what we're saying when we're communicating. We assume we're on the same page. In the book, he actually uses a few examples, and one of the examples that he brings up is a relationship, and how we assume that our partner understands what we want. So sometimes we don't communicate with them because we feel like they should already know what we want. I feel like I used to do that. Maybe I sometimes still do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest on this podcast. I sometimes still do that. I assume that, hey, Giselle should know what I want because we've been together for such a long time. You should already know your partner. But that is one of the flaws in the agreement. It says, do not assume anything. Do not assume people know what you want. Do not assume that they even understand what you're saying. That's why it's so imperative to keep repeating and saying, hey, do you understand what I'm saying? Hey, can you explain it? Because when you assume things can go wrong. And we do that in every aspect of our life. We do that when we go to work. We do that continuously. So how can you break that down? How can you stop assuming things? And this is really good for your communication in general, because the better you communicate, the better your life is going to be. Because when people actually understand what you're trying to say and trying to do, you have a better outcome because they actually do what you're saying. How many times have you been arguing with someone and then you're like, oh, I told you this, blah, 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 and you didn't do it. And they're like, you never said that. You said this. And you're like, yeah, that's the same thing. They're like, no, that's two different things. People have different ways of understanding things. I can say something like this, and you might take one a different meaning. The human language has different dialects, different tones. So when you say something, we think that, hey, that was clear. We think that, hey, I said it like this. Doesn't mean the person received it the same way. You see what I'm saying? That's why they say that two people could say the same thing and you might hear it differently. Saying the exact same thing, but how one person says it might come out clearer. It might give you a better understanding. So to avoid this and to fix the problem, it's not it's best not to assume anything. Don't assume they understand you. Don't assume they heard you. Don't assume they know you enough to do what you want. You have to communicate it. And this is what I want to go. And this is something that I'm still struggling with. Communicating and to understand that I can't assume. Sorry. The tea's starting to hit. You know when you have that hot tea and it's like, whew, you feel it all in your soul. And it's like, it's bringing up gas. I didn't even know I had. I'm burping like, oh, I didn't even know I had gas down there. But that's what's happening. The tea's taking care of it. The tea's doing his job. Anyway, back to the third agreement. Do not assume anything. Now, I can assume that you guys are understanding me, but maybe you're not. Maybe I'm not making it clearer. So the thing that makes the biggest difference is if you go with the mindset, they might not understand me. How can I say this differently? And then what I'm going to start doing, because I'm now reading the book, rereading the book, so I have to start implementing. And that's another thing I want to talk about. I feel like a lot of times we read good information, we learn good knowledge. We learn good knowledge. That was horrible grammar, but we read good books and we gain new information, but we lack the ability, or we just don't do it, to actually implement the knowledge that we learn. So, what good is learning all this information if you're not implementing it? So, I'm receiving the information, the different agreements. Now, how can I implement them in my life to make a difference? So when I'm sharing them with you guys and trying to give you the information that I learned, one, I'm helping more people because I'm bringing you on the journey that I'm in now. But two, I'm also reteaching myself to memorize it. Like, hey, okay, this is how it went. Okay, when you start reciting the information you learned, that recall is creating new neurons in the brain that's helping you remember better. Now it's like, okay, I remember it better. How can I start implementing? Let me come up with a plan on how I'm implementing this knowledge that I'm learning. One, watch what you say. Okay, speak positivity into people. Or if you have something bad to say, just don't say it. Two, it's up to you to accept what someone else is saying. Don't take it personal. I don't have to take anything personal with someone saying. Three, don't assume. Don't assume that people understand what you're saying. Don't assume they know your intentions. So how can I be more thoughtful and mindful with the words that I'm saying, and to make sure that people can understand the outcomes that I want? When I'm asking them, hey, can you do this? Don't assume that they know that I'm asking them to do this because it's my birthday or I have something else planned later on. That's why I need them to do this. No, spell it out for them. Keep it simple. Hey, can you do this for me because I need to take care of this? Blah blah blah. Wait for the sign. Okay, you can. Okay, do you understand why I need to, or is it clear? Did I give you enough clarity behind the reason? Oh yes, you did. Okay, thank you. See what I did there? I'm implementing the knowledge that I learned, and I'm teaching you guys how to do the same thing. So when you're learning this new information, I don't want you guys just to say, okay, yeah, Malcolm, that makes sense. All right, don't take things personal. Got it. No problem. Don't assume people understand what you're going to say, or assume that you even understand what other people are saying. Sometimes you have to, hey, can you just clarify that last thing you said? Because I heard it, but I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Is this what you want me to do? Oh, no, that's not what you want me to. Oh, you want me to do this? Okay, cool. You see that? The same way you can't assume people understand you, you can't assume that you understand what everyone else is saying. So sometimes you have to repeat it or ask them the question just to make sure. The hard part is when you think that you did understand them and they wanted something different. So I don't have all the answers. I'm still figuring this stuff out. But I know when it comes to your partner, please do not assume that they know what you want, or don't assume that you always know what they want. Sometimes, most times, it just takes 2 seconds. Hey, babe, I just want to clarify. Um, this is what you want, right? Yeah? Okay, cool. Oh, babe, yeah, this is what I want. Don't assume that your partner understands you. Don't assume that you always understand them. Just tell them. It's not that hard. Just tell them. And then please, I'm giving you guys this information to help you become better. If you don't take the information and utilize it, there's no point of this. All this information is to be used to make you better. So please start using this information. Start applying it to your daily life. Start applying it to your business. Start applying it to your friends. Start applying it to your relationships. And let's see the difference. So you have my promise that I'm going to be utilizing my words to benefit more people. You have my promise that I will not take things personally. You have my promise that I'm not going to make assumptions and to assume people know what I want. And the same way I'm not assuming, you can assume. So let's do these steps and let's see what happens. Let's show up. Let's see what happens. Let's do our best and let's see what's happened. Remember, all you have to do is be 1% better than you were yesterday, and things will change. You will become better. It's no way that it's not possible. If you start implementing all these new practices, all these new tips and tricks, things will get better. So if you're struggling, if you're going through any tough times, know these things are going to change. It's only temporary. And the better you become, the stronger you become, the more success, the happier relationships will be, and the happier you will feel. Because at the end of the day, we are all chasing our personal legend, all chasing a goal, all chasing to become better. And these tips, these tricks that you're learning now are what's going to make the difference. So I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for episode 9 of The Journey. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if no one told you, you are positive, you are special, you are amazing, you can do anything that you choose to. Just put your mind behind it and keep going. I'll be here for you tomorrow. So I want you to show up for yourself tomorrow. All right? Love you guys. Over and out.